2008.
Me too.
You know, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So got onto it, just exploring for me, you know, and then could never figure out really what it was all about. I kept going, I hear people market with this thing, but how do you do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so I got on it, couldn't figure it out, had it for about a year, had 125 people on it, and ran across the page for the Society of Camera Operators.
On Facebook at that time?
On Facebook at that time. And you know, the old Facebook wasn't all locked down
wow,
like
they
this
really
Facebook.
were on top of their game.
Oh, they were on top of it. They had a couple thousand people on it.
What?
Yeah. And there on that, in those old days when you had it and they, you know, you hit members to find out who's a member of the group. Well, they would have a picture, the profile picture, the name, and the city they were from.
Yeah.
So I just said, well, everybody's from LA. So I'll just go, anybody who's got a movie camera in their profile picture and is from LA, I'll give them a friend request, you know? And so I did that. 2 weeks later, I went from 125 to 1,250, and they were all LA film guys. Yes.
That is awesome.
Oh, it was unbelievable, the reaction that I got. It actually put me in a totally different place because I had downloaded 2,000 pictures to Facebook of production photos because I'm, you know, a freak. You know, that's what I did every show.
Yeah.
And so I would be putting on, and I could start getting this really huge back and forth because these guys, nobody had been posting pictures, production pictures on Facebook, and I know there were some.
That is so cool.
But nobody did it every day like I did.
Yeah.
And that just was.
Well, that's what it takes with social media, though. Like you have to do it. You have to be on it like 24/7. I don't even like those automated things because, like, you know, like scheduling or like those robots that like go and like pictures because in reality, like you don't keep up with what's going on.
Yes.
Like,
yes, you don't. That is the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the difference.
I mean, I've been on Instagram a lot less now, but
have you really?
I have. I had to, like, from when I quit Chapman.
Oh.
So like, I just needed to like take a break.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I need to take a break too.
Yeah, and, you know,
I need to take a break too.
I just was so apart. Can you hear Duke snoring? Okay. he's obviously very content.
Okay,
Do you want to
30
throw this out?
Yeah, I can throw that out.
Okay.
Here, I'll just put it over here for the moment.
Sorry, I should.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Does it look funny with me putting my foot off, or is this okay? Okay, cool.
Duke. How do you pronounce your last name?
Huenergardt.
Huenergardt.
Huenergardt. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta share the show. Oh my God, I'm sitting here talking. Unbelievable. Hold on. We share shows, so you can share this show. If you go to Applebox Network, you can share this show right now.
On Facebook, right?
To your Facebook. Hey everybody, how you doing? We're here at Burnie's Applebox, Friday, 2 o'clock, gotta be here. And I got a great guest today, Nichole.
Huenergardt.
Huenergardt. I didn't want to blow it.
No,
I didn't want
okay.
to. Huenergardt.
I get the nervousness.
Okay. Thank you.
Because a lot of people know me as like Chapman, because that's what I introduced myself
well, Chapman,
as,
yes, because you're part of the Chapman group.
Yes, I am.
That's so awesome. And you know what I'm doing right now? I'm sharing the show, and I'd like you to share the show too. Always sharing the show. Always sharing the show.
Shall I share it too?
Yes, you please. Let's have a little sharing party. Hey, we're gonna have a sharing party here on the
Is that
Applebox.
it right there, Burnie?
That is it, and you just hit this share in there, and you'll go
directly
to your thing. I'm just posting it to my news feed now. And
live right now,
baby,
posting it.
Live. Alive. Oh, and we got a special guest here. Tell us who this is.
This is Duke.
Oh, Duke, you're the man.
Duke is my best friend.
You're the man, Duke. Well, actually, you're the dog, but we'll leave it with you.
Duke actually was is a mascot of the family. So.
Oh, is that right? So he's got co-owners. He owns the family. The family doesn't own him.
He actually runs it all.
That's a good thing. And just one more post to Long Beach.
Check
and
that
we're
out.
going to get him. All right. There we
You
are.
are a pro at social media, Burnie.
Well, listen. I am not the pro. You're the pro. I wished I was. You know what I do? I just... I hope this works. I hope this works. I think most of us do.
Yeah.
You know, talking to Greg Flores, who we both know, Grip Rigs.
Yeah.
You know, Greg is the most savvy guy that I know with social media.
He really is.
As a practitioner, you know, there are people that study it, that know a lot about it, but as a practitioner, Greg with Grip Rigs is just mind-boggling.
I remember when I first met Greg, he came over to Chapman to share his idea of grip support.
So awesome.
It was really fun because like we chatted it up and he was telling me how much he has used Chapman, and so we became a part of it. Mm-hmm. It was great.
Oh, it was so great.
All about supporting that.
That was so fun when we did that. I know for me, that's when I met you.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was 2 years ago, I think. It wasn't. Well, you didn't do one this year. I don't think Chapman did. It was the one that was the year before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, next year is the 75th anniversary of Chapman.
Oh, wow.
So I think they'll want me to put on another event.
I hope so. I hope so.
We'll see.
That was fun. That was really fun. You know what? Just to start out with, you know, let's give us some history about Chapman. Now, Chapman is an iconic brand in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I knew it prior to me even being in this industry when I was in transportation, a whole different thing, living in Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is not a stretch. I knew who Chapman was just by reading things about movies and stuff like that. I was a fan, you know.
Yeah.
But it's an iconic brand. How did Chapman get started, and what did they do?
So, in 1945, my great-grandfather, Ralph Chapman, he was waiting in line at Paramount Studios to build dressing rooms.
Okay.
And he had 4 friends that when they were on set, I don't know exactly the film, but he was on set, I think he was on set, he was doing special effects. Okay. And one of the films he was doing was the 40s Frankenstein film.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so when he was on set with his 4 friends, he saw a camera crane.
Okay.
So originally Chapman, the original name for Chapman was just Chapman Studio Equipment, and that was just Ralph Chapman's company. So from there he built his first crane, and then after a while, my grandfather Leonard Chapman, he came into the picture about maybe. Well, he ended up. Sorry, let me rewind there. My great grandfather ended up buying out his 4 friends.
Okay.
And then it was just his company because he said,
awesome.
"Oh, I can take this places."
Yeah.
So later on, long story, but I'm not going to go into it. But then my grandpa came into the picture.
Okay.
And so together they were building cranes.
Okay.
But then my grandpa, the first film my grandpa went on was, I think it was Mutiny on the Bounty.
Okay, with Marlon Brando,
yes,
that one?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and he tells me a story every time. He was like, "Oh my God, this is $1 million set." Like, like
that's when $1 million was $1 million
yeah,
too.
Exactly. Yeah. So he got so interested in it, and from there, you know, he started seeing dollies on set. And this is like a couple, maybe years later, because I know Fisher was around.
Sure.
I think they started in the 50s.
Yeah.
So then my grandpa saw these larger dollies that were on set, and he wanted to make a smaller one. So that's when he came out with the Pee-wee. The Pee-wee dolly. Okay. So
Another iconic name, the Pee-wee.
Yeah, and it's not named after Pee-wee Herman.
I know.
I will tell you that.
Pee-wee Herman's named after the Pee-wee.
Actually, I think Pee-wee Herman came in to my grandpa one time and said, "Is this named after me?" Or it was funny. But yeah, so Then he came out with the Pee-wee, and so he had his own company called Leonard Studio Equipment.
Oh.
So there were these two companies.
There was Leonard,
yes,
and there was Chapman.
Yes.
Interesting.
And to answer everyone's question about this, because it's Chapman Leonard and not Leonard Chapman, which a lot of people ask because my grandpa's Leonard Chapman. Chapman Studio Equipment came before everything.
Leonard.
Before
that
Leonard.
Was the original.
Yes.
So, that was the original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it became Chapman/Leonard Studio Equipment.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So there were two companies, Leonard Company and a Chapman Company.
Yes.
The Leonard had the Pee-wee.
Yeah.
The Chapman had the crane.
Exactly.
See, I had no idea about that. I had no idea about that. So then, as a sense with Head, I guess he was a son, right?
Yeah, so, it was a son, and they worked together for many, many years, won an Oscar, my great-grandfather Ralph won an Oscar for, I think it was the Titan crane, but then my grandpa went in.
He's snoring.
Dude, stop.
All right, dude. As long as we're not bothering you, that's fine.
It's okay. He's obviously really amused by this conversation.
Yeah.
That's very Duke.
So they won the Academy Award. Do you remember the year on that?
Oh, geez.
Was this early 50s now, or are we're in the 60s? It was Mutiny on the Bounty.
I think they got the award for the Titan crane in the 60s, or the 70s. I really don't recall.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But then the Pee-wee was another one that they got got an Academy Award for. And then most recently we got the Hydroscope, that got an Academy Award. So
that's awesome. Do you have the awards up in the office there?
Yeah, they do. I actually framed it for my grandpa. I was very,
That's great.
Very proud to be part of my family.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's huge. That's huge. And then we did that event. Was that the first event that I had come to? Had you had that for several years before that time?
Yes. So I started that event 5 years prior to when you came.
Gotcha.
So on the 5th year, I decided, maybe I want to just we should take a break from this. I also was contemplating about leaving. So
we'll get into that too.
Yeah. I was contemplating about leaving, so I didn't want to put that pressure on the next person that was coming in.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of work.
Well, and I told you this before the show too. I was sort of expecting to meet a drill sergeant of the person who was in charge of that, and you were so nice. Oh. You were so like, oh well, you can go over there if you want to.
You're so sweet.
But it was really, you handled it. I mean, I was so impressed with you and the way you handled that.
Thank you.
Because I know about doing big events like that and stuff. I know I don't want to do them. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're
fun
a lot
to be
of work.
there, but that's a lot of work. So I saw people coming up to you all day and you handled it. And then you put on a show at the event that was just awesome, a musical.
Yeah, so I have a dance background. I'm also a figure skater, which we were talking about.
Yes, I just found out.
Yeah. Yes, so I wanted to combine both, because the whole point of having an event like that is to provide also a little bit entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the entertainment industry.
Of course.
Having the entertainment, and then also showing the different ways you can get, shots. Because I feel like hands-on has always been a key component of anything that you use on set.
Absolutely.
So, and anybody who gets their hands on a piece of equipment, they are most likely to use it. So, depending on if they like it, of course. But
it's so brilliant that you understand that. And I'm very serious, because you don't know how many times I've been on set with a DP or myself getting something. It's the first time you've used it. You know what I mean? You're pulling out the YouTube, you're going to the company literature, you're looking at it. And something like a crane, by the time you're there, I mean, yes, your old school DPs who have used it for years, they've got it down. They know the shots they can get. But somebody coming out on that day who maybe isn't even graduated from college yet can get on there.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was about to kind of go into, was that, a lot of newbies that come in, they're I don't want to say afraid, but they're more intimidated by using bigger stuff. I mean, I even have that problem for myself, like in a different way. But, you know, when you see something and you feel like you can't use it or because you don't have the knowledge,
it's intimidating,
you don't feel like
to
you do, but you do. You just need to come in and feel confident to know how exactly it moves and operates. So.
No, that is exactly it. Most of my life in lighting, and as I told you, because I was older when I got into this, has been nothing but sheer terror every time I went on set. Because, and you know, first of all, for years I was learning something new every time I was on set. And I mean that literally.
We all do.
And we all I still learn new things.
Yeah.
But there was a certain amount, of course, and I understand this. Part of my problem was I looked like I should have known things, but I was like, in my work experience, I was like 18, you know. But I remember that being always put on the spot and wondering, and of course I'm older, so I know how to handle myself and everything like that. But you know what? And to this very day, I will say that this business is the most stressful business I've ever been into. But it fools you, because by looking at it, you wouldn't think it's so stressful. But so many times you're living at those moments of panic, I call them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where everything's fine, you think somebody calls you and wham, the world just blew up.
Oh,
and it's up to you to put it back together.
No, I mean, yeah, you have so many of those moments, and that's like where you learn something new every time.
Yes.
So, you know.
And you can handle it. The really lesson you learn is that, hey, I can take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You come at me with this, how many times do I not know? I mean, I'm not going to know something forever.
Yeah.
We don't know everything.
Exactly.
Just go with it. You know?
Yeah, and that's also a really good point too, Burnie, is like, I feel like some people go in wanting to feel like they need to know everything.
Right.
When it's totally okay to ask questions.
Absolutely.
And just figure, you have to ask the questions, and the more you educate yourself on a product or educate yourself on the industry in general. Yes. I don't know everything. Yeah. And I've grown up in the industry, and like, I still don't know everything. I don't need to know everything.
Right.
You know? And I don't need to act like I know everything, because I don't.
Yeah. You know, it's so true. And you know, it's so funny the turn we've taken, and this has been a much bigger thing for me and my point of view and looking out at the world. Probably less so for you because of your age. When I was growing up, information was the elusive.
Oh, yeah.
Really getting, and once you'd get information, you had nowhere to sort of compare it in the hierarchy of other information. In other words, I know this, but where is it in the realm of importance within where I'm at? But these days, I tell you, it's too much information. It's so much online that you can look up. Certainly, Chapman, I know, if anybody's really interested and really find it, think about what they can do. They can go to your site. They can look at all the specs. They can find out the weight. They can find out everything to do. They can probably go all over YouTube now and see how it's used in every possible way.
Yeah, you know? And growing up, I grew up in like my generation grew up in a very weird time. Like, we grew up in between, like, computers and like puzzles. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I totally know what you mean. Yes.
So like when
and your parents had no idea how to direct you through that. None.
No, and it's because I talk about this a lot with a lot of my friends. Because having like I've watched Chapman like build manuals and all these things that are so detailed, but now it's all online, and like it's really I feel like a lot of people need to just take more advantage of the whole online thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people, on the most part, might, but I don't really know where I was going with that. But
well, you know what? In your generation where you grew up, and you were sort of an in between. For me, I was just on the other end that arrived here, and all of a sudden, wow, this is all available. I remember thinking, and it was going. I had a Joker bug, right? 800 Joker. I was going to make a bug out of it, but I hadn't done it in about 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get it out. And I hid in my van to watch the YouTube thing. You know, now I would just put the phone down and start working while I'm watching it. You know what I mean? But I was so embarrassed that I didn't know how to do that. But look, what a great thing. What a great thing. I mean, right now we're in the era of information. I don't want to call it overload, but let me tell you, information is the easiest thing you can get now. So information is if you need it. It's almost like zero-based inventory too.
Yeah.
You don't have to remember anything now.
No, because it's all.
It's accessible and it's changing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. What is the status today of that information? You know.
Exactly. I mean, we were creating videos on how-to for dollies, and they're still on YouTube and stuff, but. That way it was easier for someone who didn't know the equipment so well. They could just go online and be like, okay. And that's what's really great about Greg having his platform, because I see so many things that, like that video we just watched with the kid that the kid on the, it's the things of not what you should not do versus what you can do and what's safe.
Yes.
And that's what's really cool, is that he provides a platform that can show you.
Well, talk to everybody and there's that open forum where people are putting in, I don't like that, I don't think that is safe, or that's good, it worked, you know what I mean, and all that. And I think that's what's good. And two, for a company like Chapman as well, and I know we're kind of like, we're pumping Chapman, this is not the Chapman show.
It's my family.
But as a reference point too, you think about that, because you, as you said, you're making things on the dolly, doing videos, YouTube dollies. But then there are at least probably every day 5 or 6 people who are doing some shot with that are getting it on there. Maybe they're just putting it on Facebook, not YouTube. But constantly there's a stream of education coming back.
Yeah, and going further into that, like we have Instagram and Facebook and a lot of, I mean, like over the years we've gotten so many requests on like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I come in? And I always encourage people to come in, because like we were mentioning before, just coming in and trying the equipment and making sure that's what's best for what your needs are.
Right. Right. So I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
And there is something too, and I've been talking, of course I've talked to Greg about this several times, but this is something that's really on the front burner for me. There are companies in our industry who are, I guess the right word would be they supply our industry. There are other suppliers in our industry who embrace our community.
Right.
And they're day and night. Chapman embraces a community.
Yeah.
Aerie embraces a community.
Right.
They're different. I'm not going to name the ones who I think don't, you know what I mean? But there's a real hard line in the stand, and that is what the difference is. And I think that's why Greg has made such a big impact, because he almost brings the vendors and the community together. I mean,
he brought us together.
He did. And he brought us together, absolutely.
It's been really cool.
And Greg is always like that too. He goes, oh, you got to meet this person.
Yeah.
That's the key for our industry.
Yeah. I agree. I think community is a really strong aspect to the industry, and also networking within that community.
Yes.
So, and I tell a lot of people, especially the young students that come in, not young students, because not all of them are young, but like the students that come into to Chapman before, and when I would do tours, I always told them the key to this industry is networking. Going and taking as many opportunities as you can to meet people so that you can make those connections and continue to build relationships with them.
Absolutely.
Because that's what this industry is all about, and that's honestly,
Nichole,
it's a really strong.
You are so dead on that, and it is about networking, and it's almost like I think you're just such a vivid example of the power of networking because of what you do. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that about you when I first met you, but watching you after we became friends and getting on social media together, I see how you're doing it. It's so great, but that is the most important part. And for somebody new coming into the industry, it is so important. I think that is the first thing you should tell them, because nothing happens without networking in our industry.
100%. And I just think that's one of the biggest things. And in going on the networking thing, it's in the community, you know, I love the film community. Mm-hmm. It is, it's something that's very familiar for me. Mm-hmm. And being in the community, I've known a lot of grit since I was a baby. You know, even my mom taking orders on the phone when I was ice skating. I mean, I heard so many names that when I came up to work at Chapman, I ended up like knowing who they were, but they had no idea who
Yeah, you had already heard their name on the phone.
Yeah, but then I found them on Facebook and we became friends, and like it's just really fun because I look at the film community as my family. Yeah. And around the world, because I have friends around the world at Panavision, at you know,
You're
local grip houses.
Absolutely right. You're
and that's what's really cool about the industry.
It is. And you know what? I'll tell you, as I said, I was older when I got into this, so I had worked in the transportation industry. Okay. I have never seen nor heard of an industry like ours that is as meshed together.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? You know why I fell in love with this business? Why I had to be? It was the people. It was the most creative people, the nicest people, the people that didn't say no. You know, I came from a town, Tacoma, Washington, and it's kind of a branch office town. I'll just say so. You know, there's a lot of cities like that. There are about 100,000. It's you know, it's a branch office town. There's no real big corporate headquarters there or anything like that. I felt like the town model was, oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, no, you can't do that. Not here.
When they tell you can't, it makes you want to do it more.
It makes you want to do
it. You can. Don't let anybody tell you can't.
You know what? And it's environment, too, because when I was in that environment, it was really hard for me to ever get my batteries charged. You know, I came down here into this industry, and you know, when I'd come up with my wacky ideas, people would say, oh, we should try that. You know, it was totally the opposite. The mindset down here is, yes, let's do it.
But that's when the greatest things happen, is when those types of situations happen.
Exactly, because you make new things.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So tell me now, let's get to the point of where, because this surprised me when you did this, you decided to leave the family business.
I did. About 6 months ago. I think it's about 6 months ago
now.
Yeah,
right.
Officially, like 5 months ago. I don't remember. But yeah, you know, I know that we were talking about this as well. You know, you grow up in, I mean, I also sent you the picture. Did you have?
Yeah, Tony's got that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to show a picture right now?
Sure. You could show, like, that's how long I've been in the industry for.
Which one is it? Is it a little girl at the dolly?
It's with me and my brother on the dolly. Did you see? Did you guys get that?
There
one?
You are.
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh. So that's my brother. That's me. Obviously, I've got a little. We're my brother and I.
So cute.
Charles. He's the one that owns Space Cam.
Yeah.
So that's the company I work for now. But so this picture, my mom would actually take all the catalog photos at our house.
Okay.
And so one day, she would bring all the equipment over to take pictures for the catalog. My mom is an incredible person.
Yeah.
She's so creative, and I guess that's where I get it from.
That's.
But,
sure.
Yeah, so that's where that picture came from.
That's so great. That's so cute.
So, you know, growing up in the industry from that small and being on the equipment, you know.
So second nature to you.
It is. It's like, it's so natural for me. It was a natural
Oh, there you are modeling. There you are modeling.
That's me at the seminar for Chapman when my mom put it on, and I think I'm 8 years old in that.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So that's me cute. With that awesome Panavision.
You're definitely modeling. That's a total model shot.
Yeah, I know. That's me. Yeah.
Even a child could do it.
My mom gave me that really big shirt too.
Oh, that's so cute.
Swimming in it.
That's so cute.
But yeah, you know, growing up in the industry for so long, you feel like, oh, okay, this is very natural for me. So I kind of, you know, it's kind of like that second language.
Yes.
You know? So, you know, I knew the people. I even had a babysitter that was in the industry who actually works at Panavision. She's the VP she works at Panavision now. But, you know, it's such a small community too.
Yes,
the film industry.
Very small.
So, growing up, I grew up around the same environment since I was really little. So being at Chapman, it wasn't really, I didn't feel like I was challenging myself enough.
Yes.
So
it was too easy to just slot in.
Exactly.
Day by day.
I've seen a lot of people in positions where they're so comfortable and it got to the point where, like, am I going to be happy in 15 years? Like, will I have known that I gave my all looking in other directions?
Yeah.
And it's funny because it still always sits with you. And even after all these months, I've tried to stay off of social media, which I wanted to do because I just wanted to see if this was something that I really wanted to do.
Right.
I needed to know it was for me, not for my family. So.
Nichole, I'll tell you, congratulate yourself, and I'll congratulate you right here. That is such a mature outlook, and I really admire that. I'm serious. I really admire. Are we waking you up, buddy? Is that okay? But I really admire that kind of self-awareness because it's so important. Look, we can all do something and make some money and get enough for rent and do all that.
Yeah.
But you're looking at your life. You're looking at your career. You're asking yourself, and this is a big deal, am I going to be happy in 15 years? When's the last time you asked yourself that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, I went just like that town I was from. You get a job, you go 30 years in there, you're supposed to retire, which nobody does anymore, and get a pension and then go out. That literally was like acid on my brain. It was making me crazy to even have to do that. And when I got that break and came into this industry and saw it and heard it and felt it and knew what it was, I just I screamed out to a lot of my friends. I go, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? They're married. They got 3 kids.
Yeah.
They ain't going to come down and start this,
And I'm not the only one in the industry. There's a lot of generations, like even grips that have their kids that I know fellow friends that are grips that their dads and their dads were grips. So like growing up in the industry, you feel like that's like your only thing.
Yeah.
When I see everyone around me so happy doing what they're doing, especially these cinematographers I talk to and grips and all these people, you start to question yourself. You're like, am I happy? Am I happy doing what I'm doing? Or am I just doing it to satisfy my family?
Yes.
Or am I doing it?
Oh, you have to ask those things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer either.
No.
It's not that you're going to make a right or wrong decision.
Exactly.
You really have to look inside yourself and say, what am I going to be? So I certainly and greatly admire you doing that.
Appreciate it.
Because I was quite shocked.
I think when
you were just like, I go, really? God, does she want to leave that? Did
Yeah.
I take her job? Seriously, because it was a big deal. I mean, Chapman is a big country. Once I saw you in action, I knew you were doing big things there too.
It was, I've been doing a lot of producing like documentaries.
Yes.
So
okay.
I just produced one of my documentaries recently and directed it. And I love creating, and that's where...
What was that on? What was your documentary
Ice
on?
skating.
Ice skating! Don't go too far from what you know, right?
It's called Center Ice.
That is so awesome.
We've submitted to a couple of film festivals.
Great.
It got into one in Reykjavik, Iceland.
Oh, great.
So that was cool.
Oh, they know their ice in Reykjavik.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to just kind of see where my focus was going, and that's where I was gravitating towards, and I didn't want to regret, years down the road and be like, should I have been a teacher or a therapist or, something else?
Sure.
So that's when I was, my family, it was really difficult leaving my family's company. And it was definitely a very hard decision for me. But I definitely...
all the more proud of you for making it. And deciding, because it's not easy.
No,
that is the point. It's not like something you want to do or this feels good. It doesn't feel good. but it's the right thing to do.
It definitely didn't feel good.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to make the decisions that are right for yourself.
I really admire that.
It doesn't mean that I won't be back.
Of course.
Who knows? Maybe I will.
You didn't leave with any kind of blowout or any personal things that were an issue,
Yeah, and I actually interviewed at like multiple places, but it's funny because my heart is with my family.
Of course.
So like, if I were to continue on, it wouldn't, I don't know if it necessarily would be, I don't know where I'll be, but.
No, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're taking the chance. You're saying that. I love that. I don't know where I'll be, but I'm going there.
I'm still going.
But I'm going there.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, that's awesome.
I'm so passionate about what my whole family has created. And thus, that's why I wanted to join my brother at Space Cam.
Yeah.
And that's why he brought me on.
Now, your brother, and he's at Space Cam, and you're on there. Tell me about, when did he buy the company, or did he start the company? He bought it.
So he bought Space Cam last year in early 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was ready to also go off on his own and start his own thing. So he still collaborates with Chapman. So a lot of it is, we do a large collaboration with Chapman. The main focus is just bringing more innovative equipment to the industry, especially the creators, so that they have more of a dynamic selection of products that they can get the creative shots that they come up with.
Sure.
So that's just our focus. We just want to make it super easy, simple, cost effective for production. So, saving time and money is always the producer.
The big one. That's the big one.
Producers love that.
Yeah.
So everyone loves that. So, we don't want to break anybody's back with changing out equipment and stuff.
Right. So now, I saw you were out doing, and you did a piece, you produced it, I think, with AJ out in Thermal, right? Yeah. And you were using the Space Cam out there, right?
We were. Yeah. So we collaborated so Space Cam collaborated with, I produced it with AJ. We collaborated with Pursuit Systems.
Okay, Pursuit. So yeah.
So we do a lot of collaboration with Pursuit Systems with our remote head, which is the M7 Evo.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't looked,
I got hired to do all Pursuit's beauty shots of their cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
sick.
I got a bunch of them on there.
That's great. Yeah. So we had Pursuit, we had Aston Martin, and a couple of
there we go. It's
there you go. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the M7 Evo, this is the new M7 Evo, and it doesn't have the umbilical cord on the back. It actually holds a film camera. It is really versatile. It's an incredible piece of equipment. Wow. If you guys haven't actually checked out the M7 Evo, which is go to like.
And that, when you say the
YouTube
M7 Evo, that's that whole unit.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
that's
that right?
the remote head, the M7 Evo, and we also have the M7, but it's just a simple upgrade. It's kind of like the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4 Plus. So the M7 Evo is an iPhone 4 Plus.
Okay,
or
gotcha.
Whatever it's at now.
Yeah, right.
But this is in cantilever mode, and we actually call it the Space Cam mode. Originally, this was called the Matrix mode, but we're trying to kind of come up with our own new branding direction. So it's a really sexy piece of equipment.
That's sexy stuff. That is very sexy.
And that's the Pursuit BMW.
Yeah.
And if you haven't tried these two together, it's pretty sick.
That's awesome.
And on my Instagram, you can see, I posted something recently with it going by really fast on the track. We were at Thermal Racetrack.
Yeah.
It was such a fun shoot. We loved it. It was really cool.
That's a nice facility out there, and they're building all those homes.
And you can actually put it on a dolly too.
Oh, wow.
So that's our hybrid 4. Sorry, I say our. It's Chapman's Hybrid 4.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Chapman's Hybrid 4 with the M7. And what's really great is you're actually wireless. We were wireless the whole day.
Wow.
So having the whole wireless system is like a game changer for the industry
game changer.
Because like the DP, I think it was Matt Wise, he was on the shoot with us, and he was just so impressed by how it could just move everywhere without having to do much. You don't need to, and that's a new pivot.
Now explain to me what I'm looking at.
So that's a nose rotator.
Okay.
what it basically does is save time on overslung, underslung, or going into cantilever. So you don't have to manually move it. Yeah,
nice.
so that's a really cool piece.
Yeah, that
we
is
came out
nice.
with.
That is nice. So now, Space Cam, and here's this subject I know nothing about, you know what I mean? Are there different, how many different products does Space Cam have?
So Space Cam only has the M7, M7 Evo, and the Space Cam itself.
Okay.
The helicopter mount.
The helicopter mount, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm not a technical person. So
I got you. Neither am I.
Yeah. So I'm not really. That's more of my brother's.
That's his area.
That's his area.
But 3 products essentially that then get configured into different modes, which I think is very exciting.
Yes.
So it's like you've got 100 different products almost.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about the M7 Evo is that you can actually, you get so much versatility with it. It's the coolest piece of equipment. When my brother and I went to NAB for not the first time, because that was like probably my 15th.
You were probably born there.
I started working at NAB at 15. I don't think I was even supposed to be there.
Yeah.
But when my brother and I went a few years back to NAB, we saw what was the M7. It was also called something else before, but it was just such an innovative piece of equipment that you just felt the change in the industry, and it's gonna bring a lot of. I mean, it has brought a lot of change to the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a workhorse.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So now with Space Cam, what are you doing there? Are you doing social media? Are you doing marketing?
Yeah, so marketing, sales, all of that. So it's super fun.
And now, do they sell a Space Cam or is it just rental?
So we sell, and I think we lease. I can't remember, but I know we rent. I think we do lease. But sell, lease, and rent.
Probably a long-term lease. Right?
Yeah, we do long-term because I'm still like training on behalf of my brother's training.
Oh yeah,
so
no.
I'm like still kind of getting used to it.
Listen.
Such a different territory.
It is a different territory. And in this industry too, I mean, things change.
Oh
right?
yeah.
I mean, it needs, everything changes so fast, and in Space Cam's case, I mean, this is really a technology, mechanical company. You know what I mean?
And that's what's really cool is that with Space Cam, we hope to bring more innovative equipment to Chapman.
Yeah.
So, we all work together,
right?
And we're a collaborative effort, and that's the coolest part is that working with my brother is super awesome because him and I, we have the same mindset. And
of course.
We just get each other, so it's really nice to work with my brother and work with him and create something new.
Just a little snore,
Dude.
A little snore from the guy right now.
Has it been a long?
I hope it was a snore.
It was. He's like, he's bored of the conversation.
That's surprising. That's surprising.
He hears me talk about it all the time.
That is something, working with a relative. So now both of your situations have been working with relatives. And you probably don't know much different, right?
No,
I think you're at a huge advantage, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's funny because it's a blessing and a curse working with family. Like I said, you feel like that's the only place you're gonna go.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's very difficult to work with people that have the same mindset as you. So you're working with a lot of people.
I could see that.
A lot of my whole family's passionate about the industry and about the company.
They care about it.
Instead of working with 10 of my family members, I'm now working with my one family member, which is my brother.
Well, you do bring up a good point. That is a good point. Because when you are working, and this happens.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you're attracted to people that see the world your way. Right? We're pattern makers as people, so we love it when we meet a fellow pattern maker whose pattern is close to ours.
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
So you are that way. However, it is dangerous if you're so interlocked that you can't see something that someone else might see, and because you're thinking, both your patterns of thinking are so similar, You're not literally not thinking outside of the box, you know? And I think that's something to be said. I think there's advantage. Do you guys at SpaceCam, how many employees are there?
We're a small company.
Yeah.
SpaceCam has probably maybe 12 employees.
Yeah.
Right
See,
now.
That would be a lot.
Yeah.
That would. We actually, I know it's small in real world terms.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But like we also, like I said, we collaborate with Chapman, so we're all like all together.
There's a mix. Yeah.
It's funny. Because someone just said the other day, isn't that the same company? Like, and I'm like, no, it's not. Actually, it's a different owner. Yeah. And they are separate from Chapman. Yeah. And we're looking to bring new equipment that will help the industry evolve. Yeah. And that's why it's so fitting to call it the M7 Evo. It's the evolution. So like bringing evolution to the industry to provide equipment that will bring new ideas and new shots, which is super cool. And
you know, it's really funny. I almost feel in ways like the technology has outstripped the imagination.
Oh yeah.
I think there's so many things, and I feel the same way exactly about lighting. Yeah. That there are so many choices now that do so many things.
But the only thing that sets that apart, Burnie, is customer service.
Bingo.
I will say that.
Bingo.
Because, and you know, it is very saturated out there, but whenever someone, and this goes for everyone, like when you are on set and you do have a problem or there is something that goes wrong, you have that one company you can turn to.
Who's got your back?
Exactly, and customer service is the key to being successful.
Yes,
I believe.
I totally agree.
So
I totally agree. Just like me, I think I'm a prime example. I'm out of market. I'm down here in Orange County, right? Yeah. The advantage I took is I made all 3 counties mine, you know, because it's as far to San Diego as it to LA, awesome. You know. And all of that was not because I was smart. It was because I was in Orange County. You know, but I'm
honestly,
saying
I love Orange County.
taking market advantage is everything, and that's what you guys are doing. That's what your brother is doing. And 2, I just think that there's so many things that we could do. And let me use the Sky Panel as an example. Sky Panel is a evolutionary marvel. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned. It hit so many marks, checked off so many boxes when that light came out, that it was just like, it's created, I think, a system of lighting in a class by itself, truly. Yeah. That's how I feel about the Sky Panel. But let me tell you something else. Probably 98, and I think I'm even being conservative when I say that, 98% of all things shot are either shot in one of 2 colors, either 3200 or 56. And I don't think I'm over the, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
You know. However, this Sky Panel can do about 100 times that with color wheels and effects and everything like that. Now that is great for the filmmaker because he can take and go out with that. But most of it sits there. Right? Because either 1, the filmmaker doesn't know how to use it, or doesn't have the imagination to use it, or just the scene doesn't call for it, which is probably 99.9% of why not. But this is what I mean about the technology. It's almost, and just like your brother's company, the SpaceCam, you can do so many things with that. That who sparks that energy to do them? People do one over here, one over there, but where is that really, really flaming imagination?
Well, that's when collaboration comes into
play. That is right.
Right? Because if you have the tech there, he knows everything that can happen, what its capabilities are.
He's seen all of that stuff done.
And you know what's funny is we were just on the shoot at Thermal, and we have the 360 mode on the M7 Evo. So it spins, you know, continuously. Ooh.
You know, because I'd love to see what AJ did with this.
We're gonna post it soon.
Oh, so I'm very much. I gotta have you guys. I gotta have you guys come back, maybe via phone or something, and show that. Yeah. You know, I think we might have a question. We got a question, Tony?
We actually have a question and a statement. I thought Nichole might be able to
shed light on it.
Shed some light on this one.
I'll guarantee I don't know the answer.
Angelique Costanza, who's been on the show since
I love
the Chapman Leonard event.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
She was on
That's
the
right.
broadcast. Yeah.
That's right.
Nice.
She actually has a statement. It would be great to see the equipment at Space Cam and get familiar with other options. So maybe you can give her a place where she can go to get the information.
Yeah, are you guys having any event or anything?
Well, pretty much at every trade show or Chapman Leonard event, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Or we also are a part of Panther Film Equipment too. Space Cam has multiple partners, so if you look online, you'll be able to find them. We're actually redoing the website. Please do not look at it; it's ugly. I'm actually redesigning it. And that's also another skill of mine.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
So we're redesigning, and when we release the website, the new video will be coming out. So
that's great. That's
great. You can always reach out to me. I'm always
call you direct.
You
right?
can call. Yeah. You can actually just find me on Instagram, Nichole Hugh, and I'm always open to figuring out a way for you to come in and try it too.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great thing, and that's something too. And I know you're open to it.
Yeah, 100%.
People coming in and trying it because that is just such fun stuff.
We're an open house, like that. I tell everyone, we are an open house. If you're a student, you're an open house. Come in and try the equipment.
Try it out, see what it is, look how it's mounted, all of that stuff. No, exactly. I think that's fantastic. And one more, Tony?
We have a question, and this is a bit of a step back to something you were already talking about. Jenny Dalsas. Jenny,
how you doing?
Thanks for watching the show.
Thank you.
Would like to know, is it weird to be away from Chapman?
Oh, yeah, it's very weird. Like, you feel very disconnected from your, like, that's a loaded question.
It's like you've left home, though, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that to get all those same feelings.
It is. It's very, to answer your question directly, it's very difficult. It's been really weird because like I was talking about before, it's such a second language for me. Mm-hmm. So I think I easily figured out that the film industry is my calling. Like, that's what I love. Yeah. Like, I'm very passionate every time I talk about it. I love being an inspiration to people and helping people figure out what they need and things like that. And I think I really miss the film community on the most part. So I really miss everyone.
No, I see. You know, you were a figure skater.
Yes.
And that's very highly competitive for the few jobs that they have where you get paid to be a figure skater, right?
I skated at Knott's Berry Farm.
You did. Well, you know what? This brings up my point, is that sounds like you wanted to be an entertainer, like many young women.
Yes.
Look at.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to go? Did you see yourself doing that one day, or
no? Actually,
when you were young.
This is when I was little. Yeah, I wanted to be an Olympian. Yeah, of course, like every little girl skater wanted to be. But no, once after I did, I told myself I want to try a show, but I don't want to do it forever.
Yeah.
Because originally we were talking about I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was little. I wanted to work with exotic animals.
Yeah.
And once I did get into UC Davis, I was like, okay, that's not my calling. Like, I actually told myself that I didn't get into a school and that's the reason why I didn't do it. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason, and your life and your journey just like kind of all starts to fall into place like naturally. Sure. And so, even me leaving, Chapman kind of helped me gain more sight of what I want to, who I am too. Because like I define, sorry, Duke wants to go down, guys. Oh no.
Duke, you're on TV, dude. Get it together. Call your counselor. Get back into rehab.
Where's your manager, Duke? No. But I love entertaining. I actually did stand-up.
I saw you did that. I saw your thing. I watched that on Instagram.
I still contemplate about doing stand-up.
I thought that was so great. I thought that was so great.
So I still think about that, but But yeah, performing definitely is something that's very natural for me.
You're a natural performer.
Yeah, and I like talking to people. I love learning about people and hanging out, and it's fun for me. Yeah. But to answer your question, yes, it was very difficult. Very difficult.
Wow.
You feel like you're letting them down. And you feel,
Yeah, but you know what? All of those things, that's growth. You know what? One thing that we all are trying to feel good.
Yeah.
We all want to, like, that's what our body is almost meant for. Make yourself feel good. Your mind is, you want to feel good and stuff like that. When I got into this business later in life, as I said, there was a pit. And, probably there has always been a pit since that time in my stomach. It's not the gnawing one that it was at first, where I was like questioning whether I could do this or not, something like that. But there's always a little bit of, you know what I mean? You better be careful. You better watch your step. And you know what? I think that's what keeps me addicted.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Like that edge feeling keeps you going.
It does. And it puts you just at that.
You want to keep yourself on the edge. Like you don't want to comfort.
You don't want to get too comfortable.
I think that's everyone in the industry though.
I think so. But you know what? It's the absolute opposite for what most people in the United States or in the world, I guess, are doing.
Yeah.
They think, right? They have the 100% safety if you've got a job.
Oh, yeah.
You have 10% safety if you have a job.
No,
because that can go on anybody's whim. The money can go away. They don't like you. Anything.
I was just talking to someone about this yesterday while I was at my 4th of July thing, and she was telling me, she's like, oh, I always wanted to do event planning and this and that. I'm like, well, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, well, I get paid doing this. Like, she's in the tech business. Like, the tech business is something that's super popular right now.
Oh, yeah.
Every young person is doing this in the tech business.
They want to work Facebook, Google, YouTube.
And I'm just like, you don't enjoy it, then, why not feel that discomfort for a little bit to understand what you really want to do?
Right, right. So, and you know what? And this is really, I always feel like I have a different view than everybody in the industry because of where I came from. And you should embrace that feeling of not knowing. If you don't have that pit in your stomach, if you don't have the pit in your stomach, you're not taking enough chances. I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that.
No, I think you're very spot on, Burnie, because I think it's important to always feel that and know that you're trying your hardest to do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
So
you're at the edge. You're at the edge, let me say, you're not on the edge of the cliff, but you're in the could go wrong lane. Could go wrong.
It's okay. It's okay sometimes.
You know what? I think that's the other thing too.
Okay.
It's giving yourself permission to fail. It's giving you, hey, I look like an idiot. You know what I mean? It's all right.
I've failed so many times. I don't always show it, but it's scary. When you fail, it's scary, and you start to believe in yourself less, but you actually learn so much from your failures and things like that.
So much. So much about yourself.
Yeah.
About yourself, and that keeps you going. And frankly, that is the best thing. Believe it or not, hour's almost up. I know it.
You were right.
It goes fast.
It
goes fast. Tell us about, tell us anything you want. Chapman, how do they get a hold of Chapman, Space Cam, you, whatever.
I mean, where are we supposed to go?
What are we supposed to do here?
For Space Cam, you can follow us on Instagram at Space Cam Inc. There's 2 of them, or Space Cam Systems Inc. There's 2 of them. Make sure you follow the Space Cam Systems Inc. one. And then there's Chapman_Leonard. You can always DM both of them. You can always reach out to me, call us, call up anybody in the rental office. They are happy to help you. Both Space Cam and Chapman. So it's easy.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome, Nichole. Thank you so much.
No problem.
There's a picture that you sent that I'm actually kind of curious as to who these people are.
Oh, let's get it up there.
I'm curious. an older picture.
That's my great-grandma, Mabel, my mom next to my grandpa, who has the Oscar, my grandma, and my uncle, Michael.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's funny. My mom and I look a lot like
Oh my gosh.
She looks really familiar.
No, my mom is just a beautiful woman that is working at Chapman.
Oh, that
and
is
she's been
so
working there for
awesome.
45 years.
45
And she
years.
has poured her sweat, blood, and tears into that company, and she's
Just like
incredible.
you said, she was taking orders while you were at classes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was little, hello, Chapman, yeah, would you like a Pee-wee, Hustler, Piper? What days?
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. That is so great.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
thank you for coming down. Thank you. And Nichole, I want to do more things, and we'll talk about that.
Sure.
You know, there could be more opportunities. That would be a lot of fun. Absolutely.
We can do some fun things.
I know. Really appreciate you taking the day after 4th of July to come down here and coming on. But thank you so much.
Of course. Very lovely to be on here. So thank you.
All right. And you'll be back.
Oh, I'll be back.
Okay, great. And that's it. We'll see you next week on Burnie's Applebox. Cut. That's a wrap.